Welcome back to another episode of the things I did not like working for the IRS. So, one of my biggest pet peeves working for the IRS is the fact that I had acquired all this knowledge. I had information that was necessary for the taxpayer to know, but because the IRS believes that it is the taxpayer's responsibility to know the credits they are entitled to, they are supposed to know how to accurately file their tax returns. I am not to just give out this information, right? They will tell us to refer them to tax law. And that infuriated me because I had the qualifications to tell them and to tell them how to do this. And if our goal is to make sure taxes are accurately filed, why am I transferring them to another department, right? So I had this information and I had the ability in some cases to look at a tax return, right? Let's say, for instance, someone called and after they filed the tax return, they had a tax liability. So they were called to, make some payment arrangements. So I'm looking through their tax returns and I see that there were credits that they were entitled to, but they didn't claim. I'm not allowed to tell them that. That would infuriate me. Or let's say, okay, after filing their tax returns, they ended up with a tax increase, which resulted in a tax liability. Now, if I were to give them a first-time abatement, that would wipe away most of their tax debt. And if they don't ask me, I can't offer it to them. And that would infuriate me because now you tell us that the goal is to make sure that the taxpayer doesn't have to call back over the same issue. And I have within my power and within my right to make these adjustments. But you tell me if they don't ask you, don't offer it to them. I believe that's being disingenuous. So the taxpayer would have to ask me for an abatement. But the problem is not many people know that that's something that they're entitled to. Some people don't even know what an abatement is. So with that, I'm like, man, I would be so pissed off and I'm just waiting. They want you to wait for them to ask you, but also they want you to control the conversation. And also they want you to keep the call under 3 minutes. So while I'm sitting here trying to abide by all the guidelines and they never get around to asking, what can you do for me? And then had they asked that, I would say, I'm glad that you asked. Here's what I can do today. But most people, they don't know that that's something that they could ask for. So that was something that really pissed me off about the IRS. And I would just get off the phone upset. And sometimes when I did actually offer it to them and I process it, right, they thinking they're all good. Only for the manager because they monitor every call, right? And if they see or if they hear that the taxpayer didn't ask for it and you offered it and you changed it and you processed the return to make the adjustment, they'll reverse it. So now the taxpayer thinking that, that you didn't do the right thing or you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So, that pissed me off. But stay tuned. I'll tell you the next thing I hated about working for the IRS.